So you've just arrived at a video regarding one of the best suburbs in all America that nobody talks about. It's unbelievable how cool this town is, but yet nobody, at least on a national scale or even a regional scale, even talks or mentions about this suburb, this city that is right outside Phoenix. Across the street, you're there, and that is Chandler, Arizona. Guys, you want to stay tuned for this video because we're going to discuss all the pros and cons, because every place has some cons. But first, if you could, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We really appreciate you liking our video and getting us out to more and more people that can hopefully enjoy and use this content. Now, back to the video. The pros and cons of living in Chandler, Arizona. So here we go, guys. So before we cover all the pros and cons of Chandler, Arizona, let's figure out where in the world is Chandler, Arizona. So if you look at the map right here, you can see that as we zoom in, Chandler is a suburb in the southeast valley of the Phoenix metro area. You can see right now that it has amazing transportation systems with all the interstates that might just be a pro, spoiler alert, when it comes to that Chandler, Arizona geographic location. So you can see it right here. It's a good sized city and it's expanding to the south because it has room to grow down there because there's so many different companies that want to bring their businesses, especially tech companies, to the Chandler area. So that gives you an idea of the lay of the land for where Chandler is located within the Phoenix area. So we're gonna talk about the cons first, at the risk of maybe losing some people because it's negative. And who wants to talk about negative things first? But cons in this city aren't that negative because it's a cool city. So we're gonna jump in and talk about those cons first and then go to the pros, kind of reverse order here for most videos like this. And hopefully you'll stick around because there's some cool things happening in Chandler, Arizona. The first con is, you probably guessed it, affordable housing. That's right, guys. Housing has skyrocketed in Chandler, Arizona over the past 5 years or so for a lot of good reasons. The cool thing is when the employment sector is doing really, really well and companies want to move part of their company or the headquarters to a specific place, it's great for jobs. So with that comes high paying jobs, and with that comes the ability for people to pay more for their house. So skyrocketed home prices have caused the affordability index to also skyrocket in Chandler, making it not as affordable. So here's some stats for you. So right now in Chandler, Arizona, there's about 200 homes for sale, and the range of those homes actually is about 1,200 square feet on the low end for about $358,000, all the way up to $3.4 million. And for that, you're gonna get about 8,100 square feet. Now, in Chandler, 8,100 square feet is not that common. That is a very large home for Chandler, but the good news is, on the high end for Chandler, in terms of the larger homes, still the luxury market is still somewhat affordable. The reason why is because in Scottsdale, Paradise Valley, places like that across the Phoenix area, the same house in Chandler would actually be a lot cheaper. So on the affordable luxury side, that's kind of a positive thing, although overall housing has skyrocketed and not so affordable. So you can see you don't get as much bang for your buck as you once did living in Chandler, Arizona. The second con for Chandler, Arizona are HOA fees. That's right. Now I'm kind of digging the bottom of the barrel here, right? But HOA fees are a real thing. Why? Because there are so many HOAs in Chandler. Matter of fact, because of how Chandler was developed, being the fact it's a newer suburb, there are HOAs and communities for pretty much all of the housing. Now there are some exceptions. In North Chandler, you actually do have some older areas that do not have HOAs, and there are some sections sprinkled in throughout Chandler that don't. But for the most part, there are HOA dues for all the housing because they're in big or semi-big communities throughout Chandler. The positive is they keep everyone in line. So that could be a positive or a negative, but overall, a lot of people, if you have your cake and eat it too, you'd probably choose to not be in an HOA, but still be in a community of people that still take care of all their stuff. The third thing for Chandler is that it's flat like my voice. No, not like that flat, but flat geography. So a lot of places throughout the valley are mountainous. That's why Phoenix is actually in a valley, because it's surrounded by mountains on all sides. Well, Chandler doesn't really have that. Now there are mountains to the south and off to the east, but not actually in the Chandler boundaries. And so you can see mountains at certain places in Chandler off in the distance, but you're not gonna have any hillside lots and mountainous terrain, which can be great for a lot of outdoor activities and views when it comes to certain lots or houses that are built upon those hilltop or hillside lots. So Chandler's not gonna have that. It's gonna be very flat, but the good news of flat is it's usable. So you have a lot of that, but you just don't have the mountainous terrain that a lot of cities do in the Phoenix area. Number 4 for Chandler is going to be the limited nightlife options. That's right, because it's more of a family-oriented town, it's not going to have a lot of those late night nightlife options that I know some of you guys absolutely love and can't live without. But for people like me, who's a little bit older now and has a family, don't care about that, so I'd be happy to live down in Chandler and enjoy it immensely, because you know what? After a good restaurant, after a good meal, and maybe one adult beverage, it's time to go ahead and hit the bay, because as my grandfather said, nothing good happens after midnight.
You serious?
And the 5th thing and final con I came up with for Chandler, Arizona, after extensive research, are dairy farms. That's right, guys, there are still some farms throughout the Chandler area. So South Chandler in particular used to be all dairy farms, or a lot of it. And so when the wind would blow just right as it was being developed a decade or 2 ago, it would clear those nostrils real fast. So that was not good. In fact, we had to disclose that to many buyers when we were selling homes to our clients in the Chandler area years and years ago. Now that's for the most part gone, but there is still a little bit of that left down there. And so you just want to make sure that if you're going to buy a house in a neighborhood, you want to be aware of what's around it and make sure that the dairy farms, are not that close by. And if you go there and you're aware that the dairy farms are close by, but you don't smell anything, come back another day, because the wind will probably be blowing a different direction. And you just want to make sure that you don't get that smell if you are particular to sensitivities like that, because it can be kind of not so good. So now that we covered all the bad stuff, which really wasn't that bad, of Chandler, Arizona, let's cover the good stuff now, the pros, the things that everyone wants to hear about. Let's dive into it now. Number 1, schools, and schools. That's right, did I mention schools? Schools in Chandler are phenomenal when it comes to public school districts for Chandler. Now, Chandler actually has multiple different school districts located within its boundaries. The Chandler Unified School District, the Kyrene Unified School District, the Mesa Unified School District, and the East Valley Institute of Technology School District. That's right, it's its own school district when they work more with the trades and things of that nature. So there's a lot of options and a lot of highly rated schools from elementary all the way to high school within the borders of Chandler, Arizona. So by all means, go do your own research for sure, but if you go to greatschools.org, that's a great place to start. But a lot of good, highly rated schools within the Chandler boundaries. So when it comes to schools, for publicly rated schools, it's really tough to beat. And they do have a lot of charter schools as well within Chandler too, that you can also check out, like Great Hearts and things of that nature. So those are highly rated as well. So you could definitely have good options, a plethora of options when it comes to good schools living in Chandler, Arizona. The second pro is going to be traffic patterns and location, guys. As we saw on the map earlier in this video, location in Chandler is phenomenal. It's really close to Sky Harbor Airport because, well, the Sky Harbor Airport is close to kind of everything because it's centrally located, which is really cool for a big major city, by the way. But Chandler is not far from there. You have the loops, all the interstates. You have the Loop 202. You have the Loop 101 that cuts through it, the 60 and the I-10 as well, that all are right there by and through Chandler, Arizona. So you have really good location from that standpoint, kind of close to a lot of major things. And the traffic patterns, guys, traffic patterns work pretty well. Because Chandler is a pretty good sized employer, you have a lot of traffic that commutes into Chandler and so on and so forth. So if you're living there, a lot of times if you're going to commute outside of Chandler, you're going to be going against the traffic patterns for rush hour in the morning and nighttime or afternoon time, which is fantastic because you will get home or to wherever you're going much faster than the average person. So again, that's the benefit of living in Chandler. Now it depends if you're going to be in South Chandler or it depends if you're in North Chandler, because there is a good amount of distance between the two. But again, overall, generally speaking, Chandler is well located and traffic patterns work to its advantage. The next pro for Chandler is going to be demographics. That's right, guys. Chandler specifically is really geared toward that younger generation. A lot of younger families, younger kids, newly formed families without kids, things of that nature really seem to flock to Chandler. The high-paying younger professionals are living down in Chandler too as well because of all the tech jobs. So when it comes to that younger generation and really trying to appeal to it, Chandler does a phenomenal job. The downtown Chandler area is one of my favorites in all of the Phoenix Valley. It has some really cool, hip restaurants that are trendy, and it's not overly big, which makes it great because the walkability is phenomenal, but it has some breweries as well. So you have the breweries, you have the trendy, hip restaurants, you can walk to a lot of things, and it's just really cool because it's not very big, a cigar lounge and things of that nature. So downtown Chandler is awesome, and really overall, because of the families, the youth sports leagues they have throughout the entire city, it really makes for a great place to raise a family. It truly, truly does, and that's why that's one of the pros on our list here today. Now, kind of piggybacking on that is the next pro, which is entertainment. That's right, guys. When it comes to entertainment, Chandler has it all. Now, not a lot of nightlife, not that kind of entertainment, a lot of family-friendly daytime entertainment, right? A ton of festivals. Chandler might be the king of festivals when it comes to the Phoenix area. And most of them range between November and April, but a lot of festivals in Chandler, farmers market. And so when it comes to entertainment, Chandler has a lot of it. But again, maybe I should be specific and say it's really good at family entertainment. The next pro is healthcare. That's right, guys. There is a lot of good healthcare Trauma One centers located right here in Chandler. In fact, there are 3 main hospitals in Chandler. There's the Banner Ocotillo, the Chandler Regional, the AZ Specialty Hospital, which is ran by Dignity Health. So you have 3 major big campuses when it comes to hospitals in Chandler, and so you're never that far away from getting world-class medical treatment if that's really important to you. And the last pro we're gonna discuss on this video here at Chandler, Arizona is the economy and jobs. That's right, guys. You've probably heard the saying before, I'm gonna say it again, but Chandler has that nickname of the Silicon Valley of the Southwest. That's right, there are a lot of tech jobs located right here in Chandler, the headquarters of Intel. That's right, that small little company like, Intel that does all the chips and the computers and all kinds of different things. Yeah, they're located right here in Chandler, headquartered in fact, and the plant is huge. In fact, they're spending billions just adding on to their current facilities to make an even bigger manufacturing plant to springboard the company into the future, because the future is chips. Now you have a lot of other tech companies as well. Some of these names you will have heard of, but names like Microchip, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, Avnet, Oracle, Lumen Technologies, and the list goes on and on and on. So Chandler is a hub when it comes to tech for the Phoenix area, and that's why the economy is doing so well, and that's why housing has got to be a little more expensive. So again, another good play could be an investment property in Chandler, because most likely the long-term outlook of Chandler is extremely bright, and so the values of your real estate that you hold, if you're going to invest, probably most likely going to go up at a significant pace over the next decade or two. So I hope you liked our video of the pros and cons of Chandler, Arizona. It's one of the best kept secrets in all of the, not just Southwest, but the country. That's right, the country. And so you need to go down to experience Chandler for yourself. Guys, if you have any other questions about living in Phoenix in general, real estate questions, non-real estate questions, move up, move down, relocating, whatever it is, please call me. I would love to have a chat with you at 480-660-5974, or you can just DM me right here on our Instagram page at Kelly Cook Homes. We're putting out daily content for your personal education and enjoyment. All right, don't forget, please, guys, don't forget to call me.